Hi everyone! So it's finally December, which means the new year is approaching, and recently I've been contemplating how I want to go about some of my collection videos that I plan to post sometime in January. And one of those videos is going to be just a collection video for all of my albums, DVDs, and photo books, as a way to kind of document how my collection looks at that moment in time. And I did post a shelf tour earlier this year, and as much as I usually like shelf tours compared to collection videos, I wanted to do something different, since in that shelf tour it was really hard to see individually what things I own, and it doesn't really give you a good sense of what my collection is at that moment in time. So I've come up, I think, with a decent solution of how I want to go about that video so it's not too long or too boring. So hopefully that works out. It's going to require a lot of editing skills, but hopefully it will work out nicely and you guys will enjoy it. As you see here, these are a lot of albums I haven't shown on this channel, and I bought these within the last few months. And so recently on this channel I've been mostly posting a lot of my proxy site hauls that I've been getting from Japanese proxy sites, or a few unboxings of really new releases that I've been getting mostly from Amazon Japan. But I wanted to also share that I do buy a lot of new releases that are not necessarily just my top ultimate bias groups, but a lot of releases that I've thoroughly enjoyed from this year, or a few sale items that I picked up with a lot of these end of the year sales. So I'll be going through a lot of what you see in front of you here. There are a few things that are outside the frame, so I'll be mentioning those too, and I just wanted to voice a few thoughts concerning a few of these releases, and also share just some of the pulls that I got if I still have them. So first up, I wanted to share this Twice album. So I did pre-order their Twiceagram album, and I do have plans for buying their repackaged album. And I was a little hesitant to pre-order this since there were so many member-specific random things in here, and when it comes to Twice, I just collect Momo. So I try to get her CD plates and her photo cards, and there was also random unit photo books, which made me more hesitant to pre-order it, but I really, for some reason, I really like their pre-order photo cards sets, so I thought, why not? I ordered this on Catch-Up CD, since they're usually pretty good with having pre-order goods available right when it's released. And as you see, I got the yellow version. And then I'll share, I guess, my pulls first. So I got Nyeon's sticker set. So if someone wants to trade hers for Momo's, let me know. And then I got these photo cards. So Daehyun, Cheon, and I think that's Nyeon too. Yeah, that's Nyeon. And so while these pulls weren't ideal, I was really happy with the photo book and the CD plate pulls. So I ended up with this unit photo book. So there are pictures of my top two girls and Chewy. So that was a nice surprise. And then I also pulled Momo's CD plate, so that was just another icing on the cake. So I was very happy with those. And then in that same Catch-Up CD order, I bought some of Odd-Eyed Circle's limited edition versions of their album. So this is their B package, Max and Match, and then the first one, Mix and Match. And for those that do not know, I'm a huge Loona stan, and I do collect all their photo cards. So I've been slowly buying extra copies of these since it looks like they're not going to be very easily available on eBay like Loona 1/3 cards were. And so far I've purchased 2 of Mix and Match. So I have Ginsol and Cherries. And I don't know if this is a misprint, but Jinsol's, let's see if I could focus this. And I don't know if this was just this particular card for Jinsol or if all her cards are like this, but it looks like it's printed upside down. It doesn't have the trademark Blackberry Creative little printing on it, so I thought that was a little peculiar. I haven't really cross-checked with other unboxings to see if that happened with other people. And then just for Max and Match, I have Kim Lips here. So I'll be slowly buying extra copies of these in order to complete the full set, since I'm ridiculous. When it comes to the content on Odd Eye Circle's release, it's probably my favorite Loona release to date, just because we get so many different, so many songs that are really just, I think, above par than what I think a lot of people are expecting. Then again, when it comes to Loona, I feel like every single release has been a hit for me. And the Blackberry Creative just keeps pulling out really great tracks for these girls, and they just meet or exceed my expectations with every single release. But not only do I think this is probably the best Loona release to date, it's probably also my favorite mini album even from this year, just across all the different groups, not only just girl groups but boy groups too. I just have been playing that a mini on repeat for days after it was released, and I haven't gotten tired of it yet. And then some more girl group releases. I got Sunmi's single, Gashina, and I've had this ordered from a few different places for quite a while, which is why it's taken so long for me to have purchased this. And because it is a limited edition, I guess this was just starting to get really hard to find when I decided to buy it. But eventually after some canceled orders due to it being out of stock, I got it on eBay, and this is the photo card I pulled. For those curious, there's 2 different ones. And I'm just really happy I did buy this, even though this is a really expensive album for just one single. But the photos are really artsy, and Sunmi just always looks great. And of course, Gashina is probably one of my favorite singles from this year. And next up, I have April's Eternity. And I actually didn't buy this. I traded it with my friend here on YouTube, Randomme 2011. We've been doing a few trades, both for photo cards and albums, and so thank you again for trading with me. And when it comes to April, there were a few songs that I enjoyed, but I never really explored their discography prior to this release. But this 4th mini album from them really impressed me. I really loved their title track, and just all the B-sides really worked for me, and I think they've really, despite all the member changes and things they've went through over these couple of years, I think they've really found the sound that really works for them, and I'm really happy to finally own an April album. And I've decided to also collect a few more of their albums after going back. And looking at more of their discography. And next up are some boy groups. So my friend Ashley from Ashley Epidemic here on YouTube does a lot of group orders for both BTS and Got7 in particular. So I, of course, ordered BTS's Love Yourself Her, and I ended up ordering the L version. And it's just really remarkable what BTS has been able to achieve, especially in this past year, with their success, not only growing in Korea, but in the US. And I really like this photo book in particular. When it comes to music, this is probably not my favorite release from BTS. It's really hard to top, of course, what they did last year with their series, but just BTS's continued growth, I think, in this industry will be very interesting to see what they decide to do next year. And also through a different group order for my friend Ashley, I got both copies of 7 for 7, so Got7's latest mini album, and these photo books are gorgeous. I'm really glad I bought both. And I really do enjoy the title track in particular on this release, as well as the B-sides too. And I'm really glad that Got7 has been able to sort of develop their own sound by having more of a hand in which songs they release, and JB making this title track in particular. And Got7 was one of the first groups that I really got into when I first discovered K-pop, and it's just been really a treat to see them grow since first discovering K-pop and seeing them just have more of a mature sound, which is a trajectory that I in particular really anticipate for them, and I hope they continue on this path. So for photo cards, I just collect JB. So I of course have his set, which Ashley was kind enough to coordinate. And I also got some other cards from other members, which are on my sale doc if this would interest you. I forget exactly who I pulled or ended up getting. And with that group order, I also got the pre-order postcard set. So both versions. Continuing on with some more boy groups, and that Catship CD order with Twice and Odd Eyed Circle, I got Taemin's latest solo, Move, and I ended up buying the Wild version because this was the only one in stock, and I haven't decided if I want to buy the Mood version yet or not. But this was definitely one of my favorite releases from this year. Taemin's solo stuff, it's just such a treat, and it's really always pulls off these really cohesive albums that have a lot of interesting tracks, and these are my photo card pulls, by the way. And when it comes to picking a favorite song, I'm still not really sure what my favorite one is, though. Comparing Move and Thirsty, which both got MVs, definitely Thirsty is the one I prefer over the two. Though I do love especially the duo dance music video for Move. It's just really amazing to watch. And then another boy group album I got was 7 O'Clock's debut mini album, Butterfly Effect. And so they debuted earlier this year, and I confess that I didn't really pay much attention to them. I remember that I did watch their music video, and I thought it was pretty good. It reminded me a lot of BTS's Save Me, since that tropical house kind of sound is really popular nowadays. But I started watching Mix 9, and I remembered these guys again after they were in the first episode, and in particular I really liked A-Day's audition. So I thought I should buy this since I did really enjoy all the tracks on here, and I try to support some of the lesser known groups, especially if for their debut singles, if I do enjoy them, since they tend to be hard to find later on. And for photo cards, I pulled A-Day, which was exciting, since I think he's going to be my bias. I'm not totally sure, but he definitely left an impression on me. So next up are some things I bought from YesAsia. So YesAsia has been having this huge sale recently, and when it comes to YesAsia sales, it's best to buy things as soon as the sale goes up, since things do run out of stock, and typically they raise their prices almost like the next day after they first post that sale. So I kind of hopped on this item in particular, so FTIsland's Black Label. So I already own this album, but this was a really decent price for an all-member signed version. And this is probably one of my favorite mini albums for girl groups ever. And I really enjoy FTIsland, and I'm still very salty when it comes to Fave Entertainment's groups, especially what they've done not only to FTIsland but history, of course. So I was really happy to obtain a signed album of FTIsland, since it's not really clear what's going to happen to them in the future, and I admit that I'm rather pessimistic about it. But anyway, what else? Other things I got on that YesAsia sale was Boyfriend's Obsession mini album. And so Boyfriend is another group that I've just really enjoyed a lot of their releases from, and I'm really glad that they did have come back this year. Though, while I really loved the title track, the B-sides were a bit disappointing for me. So that's kind of why I haven't purchased that yet. I may do so sometime in the future, just not anytime soon. But Obsession is definitely a mini album I really enjoy, especially Alarm, and I think Kate Fox is on here. Those two tracks are my favorite. And then I also got Jinsu's Flower from that YesAsia sale, and Jinsu, when it comes to his albums, there's a track list. Packaging is pretty cool. Oh, I'm afraid this thing's gonna like snap off. But when it comes to his releases, I admit that I tend to only like maybe half of his songs really well, and the other half I either feel slightly neutral about, or I just don't particularly like them. But usually his voice makes up for the songs that tend not to be my favorite, and Flower was definitely one of my favorite albums from him. The title track is of course epic, but there's a lot of great other tracks on here, and I pulled this photo card. And then the last thing I got from YesAsia that's not, I guess, merchandise, is this FTIsland Where's My Puppy Blu-ray edition. So I been trying to build up my FTIsland concert DVD and Blu-ray collection, and I tend to just buy either the Blu-ray or the DVD depending on their price and whether or not it comes with a postcard. And this was just a really great deal, so that's why I bought it. And the postcard that it came with was this Singhyun one, and I go out of my way, I guess, to collect Jonghoon's usually, but whenever I get another member's postcard, I tend to keep them. So the last non-signed album I ended up purchasing was something from Amazon Japan, And I really like to look at Amazon Japan every once in a while just to see if they have some really bargain prices for some Japanese releases. So I found a lot of singles and some other things deeply discounted on there. And shipping from Amazon Japan is really not very expensive, especially if you buy at least 2 things in your order. And so one of the things I bought was this 2 p.m. of 2 p.m. Repackage album. So this is their 4th full-length album in Japan, and the repackage adds their just one song called I Know at the end of the track list. But the reason to really get the repackaged album is for the DVD content. And so it comes with some footage from their New Year's 2015 party, and also some of the live songs that they played at that fan meeting party event. So what they did for the singing portion of that event was all the members have solos that they've sung individually at their Japanese concerts, but at this event they decided to switch those around. So for example, Junho sung Chansung's solo song called Perfume. Taehyun performed Junkei's No Love song, and they all just kind of swapped their solo tracks. So it's really a fun event to watch if you haven't seen those yet. And packaging is not too exciting. You have this just really big jewel case. So with the CD disc and the lyrics book on the side, and then both DVDs on that side. And then you get this little photo book with photos from that fan meeting event, and then of them performing those switched solo tracks. And then they also performed some other songs too from their Japanese discography. So I'm really glad that I finally owned this and I could watch especially those concert footage whenever I want. So the last things I have here are things I purchased on nWave. So before I show you these things individually, I want to say that nWave, I've had so many problems with nWave. They tend to mess up my order quite frequently. And so what happened with this particular order was I had 4 different CDs in one single order. So both the Dreamcatcher's mini albums, Vix LR's Whisper mini album, and Flying's new album as well. But what happened was nWave, for some reason, only sent this copy of Dreamcatcher's prequel album, which was signed and everything, but they only just included this CD, and they forgot the 3 other albums I purchased. And luckily, I guess this must happen to nWave all the time. I just messaged them and showed like a picture of the printing slope that they stick on those packages, and it just had this one album listed there, and I said, "What's up? I obviously bought more in this order. Could you please send those to me?" And they eventually did. I think they were just waiting on Vix LR albums, since that, I guess, wasn't available at that time. Other than that, nWave, it's always nice to get signed CDs, especially from your favorite groups. So I've talked about Dreamcatcher before, since I did buy that when it came out a while ago. And I've sold one of the cards since, but I do have this card available. I do collect Yuhyun's cards, so I do need her prequel after version still. So if someone would like to trade, please let me know, or I'll probably be I'll be up to probably selling this one as well. And for N.Flying's, the reel, I'm so happy N.Flying's back, and they're going to come back again in December, which is exciting. I'm really happy FNC is finally promoting them well. And this mini album is one of my favorites from this year. Just this entire track list is so much fun. And the music video for the reel was, of course, hilarious too if you haven't seen it. But I'm sure you guys know already, but rock music is my favorite genre, and I always really like to support Korean rock groups when I can, and N.Flying is definitely one of my favorites on that scene. These are 2 cards I got. I do collect Kwangjin's cards, so if someone would like to trade for either of these, or I guess I could sell them too, let me know. And then Whisper, which is VIX LR's follow-up to their Beautiful Liar subunit. I was really happy since I do tend to buy VIX signed things. And when it comes to this release, I really did enjoy Whisper a lot. It was a lot different from Beautiful Liar, but I thought it was a good way for them to show some variety, since it's really hard to follow up to something like Beautiful Liar. And the others tracks I thought were pleasant too, though I confess I don't really listen to them that much. I should probably revisit them sometime soon. And the photo card I ended up pulling was Ravi's. And I only collect N now for VIX, so if someone is in need of this photo card, do let me know, and I could either trade it or sell it to you. And now the last thing I have here is SF9's signed to the Sun album, and I'm really happy that they signed it up here where it's lighter, since down here, if they signed down there, it would have been really hard to see their signatures. And I've already talked about this in my unboxing video, where I just did a casual flip through of this photo book and some merchandise that I bought. But I guess I'll mention this again. I really love SF9, and this mini album in particular I thought was great. The B-sides were all a lot of fun to listen to. I still don't have a favorite B-side yet. But they're coming out with a Japanese album that I still haven't pre-ordered yet. I'm still not sure how I'm going to go about collecting them, since just like AOA, they have member CD plates, and I don't technically have one bias for SF9. So I need to figure out how I want to go about that. And then for photo cards, I'm still crazy in trying to collect OT9. So these are the cards I have so far from the 5 copies I've purchased. And I do have an extra Youngbin concept card for those interested. Alright, so that was it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I do have quite a few videos planned for this month. So I have at least one proxy site haul from Zen Market coming in. And I also have quite a few unboxings that I've promised to make for months now that I'll finally get around to doing and posting. So I look forward to those. I also have a Secret Santa exchange video that will be posted very soon, as well as a small collection video for 2 p.m. So they have a lot of acting roles, as a lot of you guys know, which means there's going to be a lot of OSTs and photo books and other things that have to do with dramas or movies. So probably gonna call it something like Actor PM or something. But I'll show you kind of all the fun things from projects that they do outside of music. So look forward to those. And until next time, bye guys.